Hello everyone. In this video, I'll be focusing on answering some of the questions on the worksheet, and this will help you to model how to answer the questions and complete the worksheet. Now, the first question or first mini exercise, y equal to f of x. It's called a function of x. There are three coordinates on the graph. Asking us what happens to those coordinates for the functions given below. They are transformed functions, which means they're changed. Now, y equal to f of x plus 1. Now, notice the plus 1 happens within the brackets, which means the x value changes but not the y. If it's inside, the transformation is inside, the changes happen to the x coordinate. If it's outside, changes happen to the y coordinate. And the second point you need to remember is the x changes, you always have the opposite. You always do the inverse to the x changes. For example, in this question, it's f of x plus 1. So the x value changes. There is nothing outside the bracket, so y remains the same. Let's see what happens to the x coordinate. As I mentioned earlier, for x, the opposite happens. So it's add 1. So instead of adding 1, I'm subtracting 1. 4 take away 1, which gives you 3. So that's where the new coordinate would be. The coordinate 4, 3 would have been transformed into 3, 3, which means it's translated left. Let's look at 1, 0, the transformation of 1, 0. For this, there is no transformation outside the brackets, so y remains the same. And as usual, as I said earlier, the transformations inside has an inverse effect. So opposite of plus 1 would be minus 1. So this 1 take away 1, which gives you 0. Let's see how we can answer questions which has transformations outside the brackets. For example, y equal to 3f of x. So 3f of x, there's no changes or there's no transformation inside the brackets, so x remains the same. So the original coordinate, which will be 4. However, y changes because you're multiplying by 3. Now we don't do inverse for the y coordinate. It's literally multiplying it by 3. So the y coordinate is 3. 3 times 3, which gives you 9. Now let's just look at one other coordinate and the last function y equal to f of x over 4. Notice there is no transformation outside. However, there is transformation inside the brackets. If it's inside, the x changes, but the y remains the same because there is no transformation outside the bracket. Now, the x coordinate is 6. Now we are dividing it by 4. Now opposite of divide by 4 is multiplying by 4. So 6 times 4 will give us 24. Using that as an example, complete the table and then start answering the questions. Look out for the key coordinate and the transformation in this case, which is f of x plus 2. Now see what happens in this question. The changes happens or the transformation is inside the brackets. So x changes or x coordinate changes, but there is no transformation outside the brackets, so y remains the same. Now think about what is the effect of plus 2 inside. I mentioned earlier about the inverse effect. So you can use rather than plus 1, minus 1, sorry, rather than plus 2, you can do minus 2. So 2 take away 2 gives you what value? Similarly, answer the rest of the questions. Do let me know if you have any questions.